Climate change roundup for the week ending. Ah!
The top 10 list is brought to you by the swift fox. Until recently, the swift fox was an extirpated, locally extinct species in Canada. A small reintroduced population now resides in Canada. Swift foxes were first officially released in Alberta in 1983. By 1996, 540 foxes had been released in the Alberta-Saskatchewan border and Milk River Ridge areas, parts of the species' native range. A small, relatively stable population continues to live free in the southeastern regions of the province. Number 10. Professor Nick Pigeon discusses the findings of a new report on European perceptions of climate change which surveyed more than 4,000 people across 4 European countries, France, Germany, Norway and the UK, about energy and climate change. Number 9. Climate change, catastrophe, hoax are just lukewarm. Views about climate change can be very polarized. For some, it spells inevitable catastrophe. For others, it is a massive hoax. However, in between these extremes a third, lukewarm, perspective has emerged. In this approach, the basic science of the greenhouse effect is accepted, but it is asserted that this implies only a modest warming of the planet, unimportant compared with other problems facing humanity. Professor Palmer. The Royal Society. Number 8. How scientists are tracking a massive iceberg in the making. Antarctica's last ice shelf is disappearing section by section. A fast-growing rift, one of the largest ever seen, is now teetering on the edge of breaking away from the glacier. Number 7. Why clean technology is a $1 trillion opportunity. Number 6. Solid-state batteries for electric cars, a new breakthrough by the father of the lithium-ion battery. Number 5. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman on climate change. Number 4. With climate change being one of the greatest threats to humanity, I feel being a photographer and videographer I have a unique way of showcasing what some of the effects are. I put this film together in response to Lynn Cornby's, a professor of molecular biology and biochemistry at Simon Fraser University, request for citizen scientists to share their findings of a study she is conducting on the effects of pink snow algae that grows in the alpine and polar regions on Earth. Number 3. NASA, Russian runoff freshens Canadian Arctic. The transpolar drift is a dominant circulation feature in the Arctic Ocean that carries freshwater runoff from rivers in Russia across the North Pole and south towards Greenland. Under changing atmospheric conditions, emergent circulation patterns drive freshwater runoff east towards Canada, resulting in freshening of Arctic water in the Canada Basin. Number 2. Canada's Eco-Fiscal Commission double shot. Carbon pricing from the right. Governments across the political spectrum are exploring and implementing carbon pricing, but not always in exactly the same way. In this online panel discussion, we unpack the essential elements of a small c conservative approach to carbon pricing. You can also compare and contrast this conversation with our second panel in this series, carbon pricing from the left. Carbon pricing from the left, second online panel discussion in a series of how carbon pricing differs on the right and left sides of the political spectrum. We explore progressives' perspective on what a real-world carbon pricing policy package should look like. Our esteemed panel will look at the different approaches left-leaning governments are taking in Canada, including how provinces are revenue recycling to ensure household fairness and spur the transmission to a low-carbon economy.
Your number 1 climate change news item is
#StartupWomen. National Women in Clean Tech. An esteemed panel of powerful women entrepreneurs, industry executives and cabinet ministers will discuss women leadership at the cross-section of clean tech, environment, and business sustainability. For all this and more, check out our website. Climate change, how skewed are we? Really? hsawr.blogspot.ca.
Please tune in next time for another of Spencer's
Climate Change Roundup.